Welcome to the August 2026 portfolio update for the Capital Property Fund's Real Estate Credit Fund. My name is Joe Christie. I'm an Executive Director at Capital Property Funds, and joining me is Xander Ryan, one of our portfolio managers. Welcome, Xander.
Thanks, Joe. I'll just start with a quick snapshot of the Real Estate Credit Fund. So as of the 1st of August 2026, the credit fund has 27 active loans. Last quarter, it paid a return of 10% annualized, and it's done that for the past 2 quarters. And with its current performance this quarter, we expect it to pay another 10% this quarter. So our annualized returns, we're very happy about that. And the credit fund continues to grow. So we're at 20 million at the end of last month. We're at 21.6 this month, and it continues to be quite popular with our investors. So we look forward to continuing to grow the fund and provide returns to our investors. The credit fund does target a return of 9%, and it targets an LVR of 67.5. I can confirm from the last 2 quarters that we've beat that return. So we've been paying a 10% annualized return, and the LVR has been below that 67.5 target. So we're very happy about that. When I look at the weighted monthly averages allocations for this quarter, so this is from the 1st of July to the 1st of August, so about a third through this quarter, we had a 6% cash holding, which is between our 5 to 10% that we like to have. And Joe will touch on this more, but we had quite a slant to land and townhouses. And I'll let Joe talk about why we like those two markets in particular.
Yeah, thank you, Xander. Look, we particularly like entry-level residential accommodation or potential residential housing stock. The reason why we like entry-level is that there's a deep market for that particular type of housing stock, and we believe that you get less volatility in that marketplace. It's more affordable, and I suppose if you're looking at the press at the moment, that's proven to be the case. So we like that particular market.
And we think those holdings will probably persist for the coming quarters. But as we do around about 12-month loans, so the portfolio is always recycling, and you'll see these holdings move around. But we at the moment we predominantly really like land, townhouses, and that residential flair, as well as industrial. I'll now pass over to Joe to talk about some of the highlights of the credit fund and why we think that growth has continued with our investor base.
Yeah, thank you, Xander. Look, I must admit, we've all been a little bit surprised at how popular the credit fund has proven to be with our investors. We've been pushing the fund more with more of a marketing push in the last 2 or 3 quarters, and the fund has grown to around about $21 to $22 million. So we're really happy with the growth. But what we found is that people like the fact that they're always invested. So some of our investors will come out of a particular opportunity, then be sitting in the cash for a period of time. But with the real estate credit fund, your holdings are always invested. You've also got 2 liquidity windows in March and September of each year. So you've got a bit more flexibility around liquidity. As you mentioned, Xander, you've got, I think, 26 or 27 loans. So you're getting access to a diversified portfolio, which you probably otherwise couldn't get if you constructed yourself. Also, the other thing too, and I think it ties back into always being invested, it's set and forget. So you can invest the funds and you can set and forget. You can, even if you wanted to, you can also choose for the earnings from the funds to be reinvested, which leads me on to my next point, is that if you do choose to do that, there's a compounding effect. So not only do you grow your capital by reinvesting your earnings, but also the income. And I think if you had $100,000 in year 1 and reinvested at 10%, by year 7, I think you've doubled your capital holdings and you've also doubled your income. So it's proving to be really popular. If you haven't had a look at the credit fund and you're interested to learn more about it, feel free to contact our team.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that update, Joe. I now just want to talk about 4 loans in particular that are in the credit fund. And we got some feedback from some of our investors that watch these videos, and they wanted a bit more of an in-depth in a couple of loans. So what I've done this month is I've chosen 3 loans, Teralba, Margate, and Riverview, and they're all kind of Teralba is quite a late stage loan, kind of about to complete, and then Riverview and Margate are just starting with us. They've just started construction, and what I've done is I've grabbed the QS report. So every project that we have that has construction has a QS report. So that's someone who goes outside, independent of us, each month, and they talk about what's happened on site, what work's been complete in a monetary sense, what work's to go, and how long it's going to take. So these are some things I've picked up from the QS reports that I just wanted to share with people invested in the credit fund and these individual loans, and just give a flavour of what's happened and what's to happen.
Xander, can I just jump in quickly? QS, for those of you that don't know, means quantity surveyor. So as Xander said, that every time we pay a drawdown on a construction loan, we have an independent quantity surveyor that comes in and verifies the work that's been done, and then they, as Xander mentioned, they make sure that they make an estimate of how much money is required to complete the project. So they do a cost to complete, and so they're a very important part of our business. So QS just means quantity surveyor.
Thanks for that, Joe. So this particular loan, Teralba, it's 11 townhouses in a detached dwelling, and it's paying 11%. So that's what it's contributing to the credit fund or directly to individual investors. So in the month of July, landscaping was underway, and the driveway works are now in progress, which is quite a big milestone for them. Practical completion is expected at the end of the month, which again is a huge milestone for the project. Internal painting is now complete, and the main switchboard was installed, so now they've got power and NBN as well to the site. So a great update at Teralba, and we're really looking forward to them reaching practical completion and selling down the completed lots.
Can I add a little bit there? Sorry, Xander, is that what's so good about, or what we always do, is that when the QS or the quantity surveyor signs off on the monthly draws, we pay the subcontractors directly, which is what we've always done, which I think is important. And the other thing too is that once this reaches practical completion, it'll go through a planned sealing process, and investors who invest in that directly will get an update on that.
Yeah. So we expect Teralba to repay around October. Moving on to Obanvale. So this is one that doesn't have construction. So this is just a land bank. We've got a first and a second mortgage on this particular property, and when they get all their relevant approvals, this will be a 379 land lot subdivision, quite similar to Spring Creek for our investors that have been with us and in the Spring Creek development. And Joe, myself, Noah, and a few other members of the team were on site last month, at the end of last month, and we recorded a new video. I'll let Joe. What did you learn from that trip down there?
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, it is beautiful property, so I really enjoyed going on site and meeting the project sponsor. You're right, we had our videographer came along, and there is a good video update on YouTube, which I would encourage people to have a look at. Just the natural beauty of the spot. So it's the great Australian dream. So what I really like about it is it's entry level housing stock. So it's a 500 to 550 square metre block of land once they get their relevant approvals for around about $350,000, and then you could build a home for, say, 400 or 500. So all in you'd be $700,000 or $800,000. So it's creating that great Australian dream for a young family to come and live. You're 5 minutes from Singleton. You've got the Coles, Woolies, Aldi, schools, sporting facilities. Not too far from Newcastle, you've got exposure to the mining industry, equestrian industry, the vineyards and the leisure industry. So it's a really lovely little town, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it. So again, it's that entry level housing stock, which is an area that we specialise in. We've taken external planning advice from a town planner, so we've allocated 9 months for this particular project sponsor to get their relevant planning approvals, and I think they should achieve that within the time frame. They've been interacting with council, and they're using the same team, so it's a rinse and repeat from a project they used. They use the same team from a project down not too far down the road, and so they've got a good relationship with council, and they know how to comply with the requirements. So I would expect that they'll be turning their first sort of soil hopefully in 9 to 10 months' time. Yeah,
no, a great loan, and as you said, it's beautiful land, and really looking forward to this being under construction. Moving on to another kind of QS deep dive. So Margate, this is one of our newer loans that's starting construction now. So we've got a first and a second mortgage on this particular development. in the last month of July, demolition of the existing dwelling happened. There was a bit of asbestos in there, so that's all been removed now. The site's fully secure with temporary power. Bulk earthworks and site excavation is undergoing. So it is a sloping site, which will give it lovely views, but it just means a little bit more site work and excavation. And the retaining walls on the northern and southern boundaries are underway. So a great update. This was a kind of a smaller claim. It was for about $300,000 for works done here. So that'll continue to ramp up. So a great loan, Margate, and we look forward to them getting further through construction and towards the completion of 4 townhouses at Margate in Queensland.
And before can I just add my little 2 cents worth? Is what I love about it is it's a doable deal. As you said, it's 4 townhouses, and it's in a lovely part of Brisbane, which I think is becoming gentrified. So again, it's not. It's entry level stock. I forget the gross realisable value per unit, but it's not over the top, and I think just a wonderful little project.
It's perfect for the downsizing. You've sold the family home of 4 or 5 bedrooms, and you're downsizing it. They're expecting to sell them for the townhouses for just over $2 million. So it's still expensive, but not it's not a $10 million apartment or something like that. So we quite like it, and I thought a great update at Margate. And then finally, Riverview. So this is another one. We've got a first and a second, or a Class A and a Class B. They'll be building 21 industrial units in the month. So they got their approvals late in July, and they did quite a lot of work towards the end of the month. So they completed all the bulk earthwork. So it was a relatively flat site, so not much to be done. And the casting beds have been laid ready for pouring, and then for the tilt slab panels. So we thought a great update. The site's been established. The development management team and myself will be going up early in August to have a look at all the sites and meet with the particular sponsors. So really looking forward to getting on site and meeting the sponsors and getting an update straight from them. Did you have anything else wanted to touch on this?
Yes, thank you. Look, I just talked a little bit on Riverview. I'll just say, look, it's industrial as well, so it's a bit of a difference from the resi. But I think also too that just let our investors know that every single construction loan that we do, as a condition of that loan, we require our development management team to attend all the monthly, what we call PCG meetings, or effectively site meetings, where we look at what's been achieved and what needs to be done. And Xander mentioned he'll be going up with the development management team. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? And be doing 2 days of doing inspections with our development management team. So that's my little comment on Riverview. And I think that's everything from us. So thank you so much for your support, and we'll speak to you next month.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.